Howdy, howdy, all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome back. Berkeley's here this time. Huzzah.
Hey,
He's doing some, what
just
do they
scooting
call
down the
that?
stairs.
Yeah.
I think you pointed this out last time that you move a little bit when you swing your sword.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that just I'm trying to think about the physics of that, how that translates to real life. Just putting that much momentum into your sword swing.
I
Maybe not
think
that surprising.
it also speaks to the, fallibility of human perception. We can't sense changes that are small enough. So, we might think that we've returned back to where we started our swing when we didn't really.
Jared, when Concerned Ape himself was making this game and he decided to make you scoot forward a bit when you swung your sword, do you think he ever thought that someone would take that as indicative of the fallibility of human perception? Do you think he thought those words as he was
Definitely
designing the
not.
game?
Definitely not. That's yet another example of me being way too in my own head about what's going on in the world around me.
Hey Jared, Robin is working on our house right now, and she loves goat cheese, and we've got 2 gold star goat cheeses in the chest. If you want to hand one of those over to her.
Okay. Question about that. If I
Yes,
give
sir.
her the goat cheese up front, will she still do a good job on the house?
Um, she might accidentally smear a little bit of it on the house, but since it's an exterior wall she's working on, that's actually fine.
Okay.
The zoning for this area says you're allowed to have a little cheese on your house.
The HOA requires it.
Yeah, it's recommended actually.
Berkeley, do you have an HOA where you live?
I do not. I don't have strong feelings about HOAs, but I've seen lots of strong opinions about HOAs. I don't have strong opinions because I've never been part of one as an adult.
I have very strong opinions, and I don't have I haven't been part of one either, but I've known people
That
who
didn't
have
stop
been
you.
part of very restrictive ones, and it makes me mad. You know what else makes me mad? Having to give gifts to Mayor Lewis. He doesn't deserve this. He didn't earn it.
That's true. It's part of the long con, though. Taking down Big Tool, which we're pretty sure is paying off Mayor Lewis.
That's true.
It'll all be worth it.
He's definitely a shill for Big Tool.
Speaking of Big Tool, I don't think we introduced our stream.
Oh,
Who are
yeah.
you? What are you doing? Why did you invite me?
My name's Jared. The other voice that you hear is Berkeley, and the other voice you hear might mean you need to go see a medical professional. But for us two voices, we are SVTer, Stardew Valley Tools Aren't Real Edition. We are trying to beat Stardew Valley without tools. Obviously, that's not going to be completely doable, but we've already completed the community center without tools, and we are working our way towards perfection slowly but surely.
Yeah, and it's just that last bit of perfection that we can't do. So, yeah, we're doing most things without tools. So that's cool.
That's right.
Oh, shoot. We got some more ancient fruit, and I turned it into seeds, and I planted some of those seeds, but then I didn't realize we already had some other seeds from earlier.
That's
So I
okay.
didn't plant all the ancient fruit seeds, just 5 of them. Still pretty good.
We'll have another chance. Oh boy, I made the mistake of checking the billboard here,
Uh-huh.
and the quest on the left says, "A curious substance. I seek an extremely rare and powerful goop known as ectoplasm. It can be
Don't we
found
all?
in the remains of slain ghosts. M. Rasmodius." Or, "Juicy bugs wanted. Hey there, I'm looking for a big wad of bug guts. The juicier, the better. At least that's what the crabs seem to like. 100 pieces should do the trick." Both of those are gross. I think I'm good.
I bet we could do the bug one if you're interested.
All right. Might as well. For the friendship.
For
Exclusively
the
for the
friendship.
friendship.
On the ectoplasm one, I remember the first time I read that, I was like, I've never even seen an ectoplasm. How am I supposed to get multiple of them in a week? That sounds impossible. Then I found out that they only appear while the quest is going. So
Oh,
that is why I had never seen one.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that doesn't sound like something that's real. I know it exists in Skyrim, but
Oh, does it really?
yeah, occasionally, yeah, when you kill a ghost, there'll be like a pile of ectoplasm.
That game has ghosts?
Oh,
Wait,
yeah. You didn't
what?
run into the ghosts?
I don't think so.
My guy,
I
you're missing so much.
I ran into lots of zombies.
Yeah, the Draugr are truly everywhere.
Yeah, it's been like a year since I played Skyrim, which is actually probably pretty recent for most people, since most people didn't wait 11 years after it came out before they started playing.
True. Dang, has it? That's wild to me. It's already been a year since you played Skyrim.
Yeah, man,
Wow.
we've been doing this stream a long time. Not this, well, yeah, not this particular stream, this channel.
Berkeley, how do I? Ah, there it is. Never mind. Uh, okay. Every time I pick up a single bug meat, it counts as me collecting it. So I have this stack of 465 bug meat, and I have to
Oh,
individually drop them on the ground and then
um,
re-pick them up.
does that work?
I think so. I just did it a few times. Let's see if the counter counted up. It did
If the
not.
counter's at 4, it's because I have picked up 4.
Yeah, that's
Just like
you.
the
I
all
thought I
natural
thought it
way.
was me and I was wrong.
Oh, that would be nice.
I'm over here juggling balls of bug meat, thinking I'm smooth,
We've all been
thinking
there.
I'm gonna trick Willie. All right, you're in the mines, I'm assuming, to get this bug meat.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet I could do it in the sewer pretty quick because there's that area that's just bugs.
Oh, yeah. I'm not able to get in there, but if you want to do that, that would be chill.
Let's check it out.
So, Jared, you showed me some like art that you made.
Oh yeah. Let me
Do you want to tell us about that?
yeah, so little backstory. My brother-in-law visited recently, and every time he visits, we try to do some fun things. And one of the things that my wife thought of was something called Shrinky Dinks, that she recently did with like a youth group that she volunteers with. And part of the deal with Shrinky Dinks, or I guess the whole deal with Shrinky Dinks, is that they are plastic. It's like a plastic sheet that you can draw on with colored pencil or pen or marker or regular pencil. There's a lot of ways. Almost any way you could think of drawing on it, you can. And then you put it in the oven, and it goes from being like a plastic sheet of, similar pliability to paper or to like construction paper maybe, to being a thicker, harder puck of plastic. So that's why it's called a shrinky dink, because it shrinks when you make it and turns into this rigid, much more durable shape. So this is an example. This is actually what I made. I don't know if you can see it because I can't see our cameras right now, but it's a forest spirit from the beautiful animated movie, one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion, Princess Mononoke. If you haven't watched it, 10 out of 10 would recommend. And this little guy is a tree spirit. I don't know if I said that already, but it was a lot of fun to make, but it wasn't my first time with Shrinky Dinks. And I don't know if I am repeating myself here, but I played with them as a kid a little bit. And kind of ended up forgetting that they existed. Probably for close to 20 years, I didn't think about them at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then my wife brought home the pack of plastic sheets that to draw on, and it kind of reignited something. And I didn't expect it to be as fun as it was, but I found it really satisfying to make that, and it was a cathartic experience for me. It felt like I don't know, I don't really think that I reclaimed something from my childhood, but I would say that it was like even more fun than I remembered. And I didn't expect that, because a lot of things that you do as a kid aren't as thrilling as an adult. But for me, this really was maybe even more fun, to sit down and just make something for the sake of making something fun and artistic. So I was curious if you viewers have had any experiences like that with things from your childhood where you went back and it was a positive experience, maybe even better than you remember it being.
Well, while we wait for the chat, and that sounds super cool. I'm glad that you're able to do that. I think sometimes it's like, sometimes when I think about going back to things from my childhood, it's like either I feel like I want to be too cool for that thing now, or like I'm too worried that it's not going to be as good as I remembered.
Yeah.
And so like the fear of the disappointment holds me back. But you can break through that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I will say, just for the sake of an example, I think a lot of people need to have that discussion with themselves about Star Wars. There's a lot of people who really put a lot of weight on the Star Wars franchise, and I think it's because of this nostalgia of their childhood. And I personally have enjoyed all the movies. I've enjoyed all the shows that I've seen that are Star Wars. There are some really great ones. There are some more, oh, that was entertaining ones. But man, can nostalgia really mess you up if you're expecting something to be, to bring you back some golden moment of your childhood. It's kind of a recipe for disappointment, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Jared, 13,000 gold today. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. There's 28 days per month and 4 months. So that gives us 112 days per year. So
that sounds plausible.
If we made 13,000 gold on each of those days, would that be close to 150,000 gold a year? That seems low. let me pull out my TI-89 to do basic math.
Okay. I think you're just missing a zero.
You think it would be 1.5 million?
Yeah.
All right. So we said 7 times 4 times 4 times 13,000. Yep, you were right. It's 1.46 million gold per year. That's a respectable income.
Sure is. That's enough to raise some eyebrows down at your local SEC.
Indeed. Pam has sent me what looks like an electric sushi and says, hey, found this in a drawer somewhere. Thought you could use it. Pam. Thanks, Pam. Oh, it's a battery pack.
Oh, nice. Let's keep that in a chest. We'll need that for repairing the boat to get to Ginger Island someday.
Okay. Somebody just sent me a huge letter. Oh,
is it angry?
It's a secret gift exchange, and I have a secret friend today, Emily. secret gift. Emily likes diamonds, right? Or
I don't know if she does. I think she likes wool. So if our rabbit gives us a wool between now and then, that would be good.
oh, what? There's not sheep in this game.
There are sheep in this game. We
There
just don't have
are?
them.
Oh,
Rabbits just also happen to give wool.
that's not how the Force works.
While Robin's here, you can hit her with another goat cheese.
I am on it.
Nice. And I should figure out who my secret gift exchange is with. So it would be great if we can nail these gift exchanges for the sake of the friendship points.
Okay.
A gift that you give them on the holiday counts as like double or triple a normal gift.
All right, I'm going to look up Emily's page on the wiki.
Okay. Got Pam for the gift exchange.
All right. So Emily's best gifts are amethyst, aquamarine, cloth, emerald, jade, ruby, survival burger, topaz, and wool. Good memory on the wool. That was the last item listed.
That was the only one I remembered.
And you said Pam. Do you know what Pam wants?
Any alcohol, I think. I think I can just buy a beer from Gus and give that to her. I hate to be an enabler, but got to do what the game needs you to do. Whatever it takes to take down Big Tool, you know?
So it says all beer, cactus fruit, glazed yams, mead, parsnip soup, or rabbit's foot. All right.
Cool. We need to go to the desert again to get more star fruit seeds, so I can try to pick up a cactus fruit while I'm there.
Okay. I am going to go back to the sewer and fight more bugs.
Okay. It looks like we got 30 bug meat yesterday, so if we keep up at that same pace, we should have no problem getting the 100 within the 5-day limit. Just remember not to sell them or get rid of them, because we need to put them in that big old chest.
Okay.
Or there's a barrel by Willie's house that you have to put them in. Back on the nostalgia topic, it's funny that you brought up Star Wars, because the example I was going to bring up was Lego Star Wars. Those were games that I loved as a kid, and then when I found out they were making a new one, I was like, should I play it? Should I not? Is this for kids? Am I going to hate it now? But I bought it, and I loved it. I think I talked about it a lot on the stream, actually. It's maybe the only game I've ever 100% completed.
Oh, wow.
It was a fun one.
Did you have to go find all the mini kits like back in the day?
I don't remember there being mini kits.
Okay.
Maybe there were. Oh, there were. Yeah. The interesting thing about this game is the levels are a lot less important, and all the stuff between the levels is a lot more important. So like the actual traditional levels from the game were only about like a quarter of the content, and then there were literally hundreds of puzzles to do just in the world when you weren't doing a level. So there was like the little sequences that you could play, and then like this huge open world aspect.
That's
anyway
good game design, folks. Or maybe modern game design. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was fun. Speaking of games, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
And you have played Red Dead Redemption with an implied 1 there.
Yeah. Yep, I played a bit of it.
So I wanted to hear your take on the series before I give mine.
Okay. Well, my experience with it, it was a friend's game, so I didn't get to take it home and really play a ton of it. But it was very similar to Grand Theft Auto, but Cowboys was my interaction with it.
Okay.
I found the first title, when I played it, it was already old, and this would have been probably close to 8 years ago now. So it felt very dated. And I remember the controls being really frustrating to me. And that kind of gave me a bad taste. But the world was very interactive and interesting for games of that time. So I was always interested in the second one. And then when I found out, or I guess when I saw the reviews that people were leaving of the second one and how highly acclaimed it was, that made me more interested. But it was just so expensive and required really nice hardware at the time to play. So I never did end up getting it. So yeah, that was my take. The first one, kind of clunky, but interesting enough world and a lot of freedom. So what's the second one like?
Yeah, I'd say it's interesting. My computer is 5 years newer than the game, I believe. Maybe 4 years newer. And so it should have no problem, but it definitely has to work hard in some spots. I haven't noticed any like actual bugs or glitchiness or anything from that, but the computer sure does whir loud, and my office gets really, really hot while I'm playing. Yeah, as for the game itself, it's been fun. Yeah, I'll start with the good things. So the world is very beautiful. The voice acting is incredible. All the graphics are really good. It's interesting how many different like gameplay elements there are. I don't know how to describe this. Like in any specific level or part of the story, they'll change what the buttons do. So like in one level it'll be like press E to bully this person, and then in the next level it's like press E to brush your horse, and in the next level it's something different. So like whatever the story needs, it'll just be like press E to do that thing. So that helps the game like not feel repetitive because your character's always doing new different things. On the other hand, there's a lot where it just feels like I'm watching a movie more than I'm playing a game. I think that's what a lot of people like about it, and I think that was a deliberate design choice. But for me, that's been a little bit less engaging. There's one time where I sat down to play for an hour, and I spent almost the entire time just riding my horse between locations to get to stuff, and it was very beautiful. And they've even got a button you can press. You hold V to go into cinematic mode, to where you don't even need to like steer your horse at all. The game goes into like widescreen, like a movie theater, and your character just drives themselves. I think my biggest issue with the game so far is I am like 10 hours in, and I still don't know what the main story or point of the game is.
Oh, interesting.
I just got an amethyst from killing a slime. So you can give that to Emily.
Yeah, that would be great.
So like the very opening of the game, you're on this mountain freezing to death, trying to get off of it. Really reminded me of like the Oregon Trail days. We both grew up in Oregon, so when we did state history stuff, it was all about pioneers.
So much Oregon Trail lore.
Yep. So the beginning of the game is like that, but then you get off the mountain, and then it's like some people in your group want to keep doing crime. Some people in your group want to move west and stop doing crime. And that's like the only plot that I've been introduced to so far. Oh, and there's this rival gang that you don't like, but that's it. So yeah, 10 hours in, I don't really know where the game's going. And so
that's
made it feel a little slow.
Yeah, that's an interesting problem, because I could see that being pretty easy to have happen accidentally in an open world situation. For example, I've been playing the new Zelda installment.
Oh yeah. Well, let's hear about that. Jeez, we're talking about a game from 2018.
No. I don't want to interrupt, but I will say that I've had that problem in this game. Not that I don't know the story, but there's certain quests that you can get access to right away that you don't have the tools to complete, and it doesn't tell you that. And so I got myself into a position where I was getting killed because I literally couldn't achieve what they wanted me to achieve. And it wasn't something that was like skill based. It's just the way the mission was designed, is that I just can't survive because of something dumb. So I wonder if that's a similar situation for you, where there was like some sort of, what do they call that in D&D, like a hook, where they try to tie or grab your attention to a certain thing and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, plot hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be part of it. I feel like most open world games that I've played have been more handholdy. I know that's usually pejorative. I'm using that in a good way. So I love the Assassin's Creed games, and in those ones, every time you get a plot hook, it adds it to your like log of different missions you can do.
Yeah.
And they're organized by like, here's your side quests, here's your main quests. And so if you're feeling like exploring or you feel like you need to level up, you can just focus on side quests. If you feel like progressing the story and getting to the next interesting part, you can do the main quest instead. And from what I've seen, Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't do that at all. It's just like, here's the 5 people on your map. We're going to make them all yellow on the map. You can go to any of them to start a quest, but you don't know which one is the main quest. And I think just that part alone has really slowed it down for me, because any day when I like boot up my PC and start playing, I don't know if I'm progressing the story or not.
Yeah.
Until I get to the final cutscene of an individual mission. Anyway,
Yeah. That's a weird design choice, I will say.
Yeah. So I think overall I would describe the game as like really well done, but not my favorite style. If you want something really beautiful and cinematographic, this is the one. But I'm learning that that's not what I love in games.
That begs the question, Berkeley, what do you love in games?
Just Assassin's Creed, mostly.
I love Assassins, I love Creeds, and I love it when they come together into one Creed belonging to one assassin.
Yep, that's what I love. Yeah, I don't know, I'm still piecing that together, but oh shoot, I just put all my bug meat in the chest. I hope that doesn't mess up the quest. I don't think it will. Yeah, the things I like about Assassin's Creed, I think the combat system is like really tight and good. It feels good. Like you can just get more and more skilled and like continually face enemies that are more and more stronger than you are, based on your skill. That part feels good. This is weird. I like games with good weather. I learned that when I was playing Fallout, because Fallout, everything's really like grim and cloudy most of the time. The 2 Assassin's Creed games that I've played, it's just like sunny and beautiful and a little bit tropical all the time. I've played the one that takes place in ancient Greece, and now I'm playing the one that takes place in Egypt. And
so
I just love it.
What you've learned is that you like the Mediterranean.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Whoa.
Big house.
The bomb block didn't move. But now we have refrigerator. And we can cook things.
Oh, you know what it did?
What?
It sent me back to my house. I woke up in my house, and so I thought that something was very wrong, but it's not wrong at all.
Oh.
It just moved me.
I have big house also now.
Well, I forgot that I had big house, so anyway, cool.
Gus needs a coconut. Do we have a coconut?
No, but we can get one from the desert.
Gus, that's going to cost you 700 gold, 500 for the ticket, and 200 because you like me so much. Also, Berkeley, here is a wine that I took from our wine barrel that you can give to Pam if you want, I guess.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Can you put it in the orange chest? The amethyst is in there as well.
Okay. All right. Berkeley, did you have a chance to say everything you wanted to say about Red Dead Redemption 2?
I did.
Can I ask you, I'm a bit of a guns enthusiast, particularly in games. Did the guns feel good? For comparison, I felt like Fallout's guns didn't feel very good. They felt very underpowered, I guess. So
I didn't have any complaints about Fallout's guns, and I don't have any complaints about Red Dead Redemption's guns. So
Okay.
I don't know if I'm knowledgeable enough to answer that.
okay, so it felt reasonable.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think there's fewer options, but I think that's maybe a good thing in Red Dead Redemption. Like, the guns in Fallout were so customizable, and this one I think there's just like, you've got the shotgun and the revolver and the repeater rifle and a couple other ones I can't remember the name of.
Yeah, cowboy guns.
Cowboy guns, you know. What are you thinking of Tears of the Kingdom so far?
Oh man, I don't know how to describe it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. But I also almost feel like I would have preferred they set it in a new world like they traditionally do. Like, it's still Hyrule, but usually it's a different take on Hyrule each time. Because something about the magic of exploring for the first time, and you can definitely still do that. There's a lot of that to do that I haven't got around to yet. But so far, the quests that I've received have been taking place in parts of the map that players of Breath of the Wild would have seen and explored thoroughly already. And just something about the magic of exploration and not knowing what's around the next corner is neat. Like I said, that's still a thing. So that's more of a minor gripe than anything. The physics is amazing. The puzzles and the tools they give you are really neat. Better than the last game. But they did take away... Berkeley, have you played it? Have you played Breath of the Wild, I mean?
I've played no Zelda games ever.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, when you have time, there are several that I can recommend to you.
Nice, okay.
So there is something called, I think they call it like a glyph. Basically, it just gives you this ability where you can summon or use different powers. And one of those powers is to summon bombs that you can place, or a bomb that you can place, and you could summon a round one or a square one, and that was very convenient because you could use it indefinitely because it's magic. So you could repeatedly summon bombs, and they took that away so far. Maybe it exists out there and I haven't discovered it yet, but they brought back something from Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker, which was bomb fruits or bomb flowers, sorry. And they kind of grow in the natural environment, and you can go and pick them, and then the number of bombs you have depends on how many you've found. And
okay.
I just don't like that it's that random. I think you can buy them from some shops as well, but it really limits your ability to rely on bombs. And I think that was intentional because players like me were able to abuse those tools to fight enemies that were way more powerful than them by dropping the bomb glyph and then running and blowing it up when the enemy chased you and repeating that forever. So I get why they did that, but I find it inconvenient, I guess.
Yeah.
But those two complaints really pale in comparison to the beauty of the world, and the story seems quite interesting as well. I still have a lot to learn about it, but it's a beautiful world with a lot of things going on, and I would say that it's worth playing just to experience that bit of it.
Cool. Yeah, I am excited for it. I love seeing all the hype around it. When Breath of the Wild came out, I was very jealous and wished I had a Switch. now I have a Switch and I don't have Breath of the Wild because all the urgency is gone. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely on my list. I want to play that, and then Tears of the Kingdom. But glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Yep. It's a good experience for sure. Okay, Berkeley, there's an item here from the pig cart lady called Fairy Rose. And it says an old folk legend suggests that the sweet smell of this flower attracts fairies. Is that a real thing in this game?
I don't know. Should I check the wiki?
I'm looking it up right now. That is so wild.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done a fairy rose. I went to the desert and no coconuts. There was a cactus fruit though, so we can sell our wine and give the cactus fruit to Pam instead.
Okay.
Or I guess I could just give the cactus fruit to Pam right now, and then give her the wine on Fantasy Christmas.
Okay, here's the deal. Fairy Rose, you can turn it into honey and all sorts of other stuff. But you can also craft something called fairy dust from fairy rose and diamond. And if you sprinkle it on kegs, furnaces, or other refining equipment, you instantly receive the product they're making. So that's an interesting perk, but not, I don't think that's something we can really take advantage of. A lot of what goes on here on SV Terra is kind of the long game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that one is worth it for us.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it be. But I was curious. An interesting bit of lore there.
Yeah, there's just so many items in this game. Crazy. All right, we have some more sap, but I think we're out of wood, unless you happen to have a bunch on you.
I don't.
Okay, then I should buy some more wood so we can get some more kegs. All right, Jared, are you ready for the educational portion of our show?
I am so ready to fill my young, impressionable brain with the footprint of your philosophical musings.
I hate to tell you this, but we're actually too old to be impressionable anymore.
Aww.
We're actually set in our ways and very slow.
Well,
you and
I for one believe you.
Oh, shoot. I feel like that undermines the point I was making. Dang it. You've bested me.
If you say so.
All right. I was thinking today about something interesting that I learned about in school. And have you ever had this moment in school when you're learning something and it's like, it's put in the context of the class you're in. And so at first it just seems like something that would be on the syllabus and something that you need to learn. But then you realize, you like connect the dots to your real life and realize that it's actually super interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a very maybe hyper specific description, but yeah, sounds like you've had that.
Yeah. Yep.
So
all the time, actually.
Yeah. Do you have any examples that come to mind?
Not any exciting ones for regular people, but internet protocol stuff.
Oh yeah, we were chatting about that before this stream. Yeah, learning how the internet works. That was one for me. Another one for me was learning about the Grician maxims, or maybe Grician maxims.
That
I don't know.
is a name and a half right there.
It sure is. So this was by some guy. I think he was a linguist. Maybe I actually don't know that for sure. I think he was a linguist. He was interested in how people converse, and specifically in rules of conversation. And he wanted to like break down how you could predict through rules what people are going to talk about and how they're going to talk about it. And he came up with 4 principles or 4 maxims that he said described most conversations. And on top of that, when people violate these 4 maxims, that is like usually when you get confused or annoyed in a conversation, it's because people broke one of these 4 maxims. So I think that's really interesting, that the rules that describe how things usually work and rules that explain why things don't work when they don't work.
Yeah, that's neat.
And I'm saying rules as if this is something that like you have to do, but it's really more descriptive than like telling you what to do. So just that little disclaimer. So his four maxims were just like four principles that people follow in conversations, and I'm going to read them off. Well, I'll go through one at a time. So first one is quantity. So he believes that when people are in a conversation, they're going to be careful with the quantity of information that they're giving. So if I ask you your name and you respond with your name and your address and your occupation, that's going to be a little bit weird. Or if you respond with, hey, that's going to be not enough information. So that's also going to be weird. So quantity of information has to be correct. Do you have any questions about that? Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. I'm just imagining 5-year-olds who, you know, suddenly will walk up to you and tell you about their favorite bike. And then as they're describing their bike, they'll tell you about the time they went to the park with it. And then, you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And that's a great point. It doesn't necessarily have to be in response to a question. It can be like the way that you open or like what you're presenting. Okay. So that's the maximum of quantity. Next is quality. So this is referring to people in a conversation should usually say things that are true and substantiated. So when you're having a conversation with someone, you kind of have this social contract, not the social contract, this is a different social contract, that you're not going to lie to them and you're not going to say things that you couldn't back up with facts. So obviously this is one that like gets violated to one degree or another in most conversations, but the idea is that most of the time people are kind of trying to follow this, and also people get annoyed if the other person isn't trying to follow this.
So you're telling me that no presidential debate ever had counts as conversation, or at least counts as good conversation?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. People in the chat, if you as I'm listing these off, if you can think of a time you've been annoyed by someone breaking one of these, feel free to let us know. The third one is the maxim of relation. So this one is similar to quantity, maybe some overlap, but relation means that you're only going to talk about things that are relevant. So if I'm telling you about Red Dead Redemption and you bring up Tears of the Kingdom, I'd say that's relevant. But if you instead bring up, I don't know, the assignment that you received at work today, maybe less relevant. I'm sorry. I feel bad that I just used you as an example and this conversation as an example. I feel like that's going to put me way too in my head.
You know what it did work for, though? You said something that was true and substantiated about our previous conversation.
Fair. Okay. Real quick, Jared, in your journal, do you have a quest called Marnie's Request?
Is it about Mary Luce's shorts?
No, it's about a cave carrot.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay, I've got 2 cave carrots in my inventory right now, so we can, assuming she's working today, we can go both finish that quest.
Okay.
Let me take one and, let me see if I can gift it to you.
I now have cave carrot.
Hooray. All right, and then final maxim is the maxim of manner. So this one is that when you're in a conversation, you're going to try to organize what you're saying in a way that makes sense. So like you're kind of like the essays that you would write in high school, you would introduce a topic and then like provide supporting evidence. Like you have to organize your thoughts in a way that makes sense. And then you're also not going to like say way too much or say way too little. So the quantity one is about like the amount of information you're conveying. This one is more about like the number of words that you use to convey that information.
Interesting.
So it's like you're going to use a style of speech that's understandable. You're also not going to just like switch into Old English unless that's like relevant to the conversation.
Yeah.
you're not gonna just drop every other word. You're gonna like be grammatical. Um, yeah, you're just promising to talk in a way that makes sense.
Yeah,
So that is it. That's the four maxims: quantity, quality, relation, and manner.
that's very interesting and a great tool for teaching people how to talk to people who are new to a subject as well. I've been doing a lot of training, and it is not uncommon at my job to have somebody come in and uh, speak in a manner that does not fit their audience. Their audience
Yeah.
being me.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I like that.
All right.
Oh, Jared, I went to the desert yesterday and forgot to buy more starfruit seeds. Oops.
That's okay. We're rolling in buckets of money.
That is true. We do have a lot of money. I need to buy some wood and some hay. Hopefully the people that sell those two things are working today.
Did I find an ancient seed? I did. Huh.
Sweet. How? Where?
I think I must have got it in the mutant bug cave in the sewers. So I was just down there fighting some bugs for their meat.
Cool. We need 12 more meat, and we have 2 days left to finish the quest. I think we're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I'm hoping to try to finish it today and then get down. Ooh, this has a lot of bugs on it. Okay. And then get down and put it all in the barrel for Willie.
Cool.
This rock can take damage. That's interesting.
Which rock? Oh, it might be a crab.
Do I have to touch it to make it move?
Sometimes they're a little unpredictable on when they move. I think you
There we
need
go.
to stand and wait.
Gotcha. Well, I don't think I quite got enough. I need 3 more. So close I can almost taste it. Juicy, juicy bug meat.
Yuck.
All right.
Oh, probably next time we stream, we should also buy a bunch of pigs. As many as we can fit, because we want them to be full grown before spring.
To get the truffles.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me. 1 more bug meat. Come here, bug. Let me meet you. It worked.
Nice.
All right, let's drop it off.
How many do you have in your inventory right now?
I have 68.
Okay. I am going back to the farm. I can grab the rest of them and go meet you at Willie's house.
Okay.
Or not meet you. You can leave before I'm even there if you want. I won't be sad.
Hey, look, it's Willie with his hat jiggling oddly as he walks. The questing barrel. Looks like an old oil drum. Alright. 32 meat to go.
Whoa, that's exactly how many I have in my hand.
Berkeley, are you telling me that we can both do basic math?
No, I didn't make that connection. I thought that was just the universe smiling on us.
Ah. See, somehow that's way more funny.
Oh, hey.
Hey,
You got a shell.
I do. It's a nautilus.
Oh, but you're too good to pick up this mussel?
I ran out of space in my inventory.
Oh, I see.
All right, Marnie, you better be open. You left right as I walked in the door. Here we go. Take this carrot. Oh, I guess I'll take it. What?
Oh, shoot. You have to walk into her shop while she's in there with it in your inventory. So that did not count.
I missed by like half a second. That's amazing. So great. All right, this area is looking a little overrun with detritus. I'm gonna blow some of it up to contribute to a cleaner and healthier wilderness.
Nice.
I just got 24 wood.
From trees? Or from like sticks on the ground?
Sticks on the ground.
Nice. Okay, chat. Anyone else playing Tears of the Kingdom? Or anything else cool? What are you playing?
Tell us about the things that entertain you at the moment. Let's see.
Oh, do you want to upgrade your backpack?
You know, it might be about time for that. The other thing I could do is stop carrying a slingshot around because I never use it. I feel like an owl.
Susie Moo is also playing Tears of the Kingdom. Love it. She says it's fun.
Yeah, I heard that it's like breaking some records right now for copies sold. In fact, I want to say the number I heard in terms of copies sold on the first day was something close to 10 million, which is wild. That might have included like what do they call that? Like where you buy it before it comes out.
Pre-sales?
Pre-sale? Yeah, that might be it.
Or pre-orders?
That's what it is, pre-orders. Which is generally not a good idea in today's gaming world, but
yeah,
Nintendo is a pretty trusted brand.
Yeah. Okay, Susie Moo says she heard that number 2, Crazy, beat Nintendo's own record. Was the last one Breath of the Wild? Or have they had another big release since then?
Oh, man. I bet it was probably Breath of the Wild because that was a huge deal, but let's see. It could have been one of their older games. They had a few. I mean, they're a successful franchise for a reason, I guess.
I know Megan in the chat is still loving Dreamlight Valley. It's a Disney game that's kind of Animal Farm, kind of Stardew Valley-y.
Animal Farm? Like
Or
the.
not Animal Farm, sorry, Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay. It's like that's hardcore.
Thanks. Yeah, Donald Duck keeps saying that all people are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Oh boy. Prickly, where do I put this ancient seed? Is it the greenhouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow, Babarma's playing Tears as we speak. Megan in the chat is playing Dreamlight Valley as we speak, and that's why she's not so active in the chat today.
Well, good.
I was
Everybody's
wondering why you all were quiet. It's because you've got such great games on your Switches.
some much needed game time.
Love that. Whoa, I forgot how dark the greenhouse gets. I just feel like it should be interiorly lighted.
Yeah.
Lit. Hey, you know what? I've got a torch that I carry around in my inventory for no reason. I will put it in here.
We
Yeah,
could
I've got one
also
corner that's
line the
not dark.
entire greenhouse with fish tanks because those do emit sunlight.
That would be fun. I feel like we need the real estate though.
We definitely do. All right. Getting to bed just after midnight.
So at one point we talked about eventually replacing all of the greenhouse with like all the star fruit in the greenhouse with ancient seeds or
Yeah.
with ancient fruit, because those ones you just plant them once and they yield I think once a week maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm wondering if we might have too many kegs for that. Maybe we should keep half of it star fruit so that we can keep the kegs always busy.
Oh, that's a good point because if you've got stuff sitting, if you've got manufacturing capability that's sitting and not being used, that's waste.
Yeah, I will. I'll do some math off stream and figure out.
Yeah. Here's one for Bavarma. You could figure out the amortization rates of those kegs if we use ancient seeds versus starfruit.
Excuse me. Are you good for one more day, or do you want to call it there?
I think I gotta call it. I'm starting to slow down.
Sleepy. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We finished a quest for Willie. We gave some great gifts to Robin, and we built 5 more kegs. So we're just still slowly scaling up, and
Wow, look at that.
things are looking good for perfection.
This is quite the empire. Yeah, we're on our way. Step 1, get super, super wealthy. Step 2, get super, super friendly. Step 3, cook so much.
Cook so much. Yeah, maybe we should get started on that actually. Well, we'll worry about that next week. Okay, thanks everyone for joining us. Follow us on all our social medias, which are YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. You can find our link tree in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube, or in our About section if you're on Twitch. And we will see you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.